What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Game Day with Trey. This your host, Trey. That's my homeboy, Face.
What up, world?
And we coming to you guys live from all around the world right now. As you can see, Face has got it's got a makeshift background going on because he's getting something done for his car. Completely understandable. All right.
I'm getting the buck shit worked on, man.
Okay.
Getting
Yeah.
getting the war shit ready.
Yeah. So today we are going to discuss the NFC West. All right, the quarterback rankings, fantasy PPR projections. All right, and exactly how we feel about that win loss projection as well, man. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this, man. Let's keep it all the way live, right? So, bottom of the list, number four, quarterback in the NFC West, as far as I'm concerned, is your man, Kyler Murray. And there's multiple reasons why Kyler Murray gets this denotation as far as where I'm putting him in the NFC West. Okay. And I just want to give a caveat to this. Okay. I want you guys to understand. I'm giving you the rankings as far as fantasy and PPR is concerned. I let you know whether or not I agree on that fantasy ranking versus regular real life ranking. And I let you know whether or not this quarterback is going to win more games than he's projected or whatever. Okay, so I just want to put that all the way out there before I get into this. Okay, so Kyler Murray, man, Kyler Murray, he went 4-13 last year. Okay, that's what the Arizona Cardinals went to. Now I remember he tore his ACL, and he's still coming back from the ACL that he received that he tore late in the year or mid. So yeah, about the end of the year last year, he tore that ACL. So it's not as if I am saying that this is someone who is just a horrible quarterback. But he's coming back from a torn ACL. He only threw for 2,368 yards last year, 14 touchdowns, seven interceptions. He got sacked 25 times. He ran for 418, which is pretty good, but he only had three rushing touchdowns for all those yards he rushed for. All right. His completion percentage is 66.8. His QBR is a putrid 51.5, and his passer rating is horrible at 87.2. The weapons he had around him last year, he had Hollywood Brown at some points. He had D Hop at some points after D Hop came from the steroid suspension. You know what I mean? James Conner, he was in and out throughout the year last year. So he had some weapons to work with. They drafted Trey McBride, good tight end out of a small school. I mean, he had some stuff to work with, man. But at the end of the day, he did not produce last year. 4-13, regardless of when you tore your ACL. I just I don't see that coming back to be a good quarterback, man. But how do you feel about Kyler Murray's year and Kyler Murray last year? Like, do you agree with me on that? Do you think he's the worst quarterback in the NFC West?
Yeah, he's definitely the worst in the NFC. Yeah.
I mean, when you got to put a clause in
Even,
somebody's
even, even
contract
though there is
to
a few other starters, even though you can't give every loss to Kyler Murray because his other starting quarterbacks through the course of the year, so all the losses really don't fall on him. But at the end of the day, if you can't stay healthy and the way that you played when you were healthy, it really wasn't a
face,
spectacular job
what
that
do
you
we
were
say?
doing.
What do we say about availability, brother? What is availability?
That's the number one thing a quarterback.
Availability is the best ability for anybody that's out there. And it doesn't matter the industry. Whether we playing football, basketball, tiddlywinks, you go into a manufacturing facility, you cut grass, you build houses, you are a CEO of a company. Okay, it does not matter what level you're a doctor, lawyer, availability is the best ability. And if you're not available, then you're worthless to me. You're worthless to me. All right. And then when we got to when we have to put stipulations in your contract to discuss how much video you're going to watch. All right. And that you have to actually put an addendum in there so that it states that you actually have to be paying attention to the video that you're watching. For those who do not know, these are technical terms that mean a lot in the legal realm. Okay. And when you have to go that far on a contract to get somebody to invest the proper amount of time into their craft, then to me, and this could just be me, man, but to me, you are dealing with somebody who is, they don't love the game, man. Plain and simple. He doesn't love the game. If the man loved the game, you wouldn't have to talk about all this type of stuff. Put these type of
He'll
things
be
in the contract, this, that,
he'll
and the
be
third.
willing to, he'll be wanting to learn these things. He'll be wanting to put in that time to become a great quarterback because you have to be able to process this information. If you can't process the information, you're really not going to be a good quarterback. It's not going to translate in terms of just physical ability. You have to be able to process this information and be able to react to it in a timely fashion. Because if you out there trying to figure it out while the game is going on, it, that's where sacks come in. That's where the interceptions come from. All type of stuff like that because you don't even know what's really going on. You trying to figure it out. So I feel like
He ain't got a clue.
you got to slow the game down by processing this information. Your reaction time will be quicker. So it seems like everybody else is
See,
a
now
step behind you.
the problem for Kyler Murray is the fact that he was the number one quarterback coming out of high school. Okay. Uh, he was the number one quarterback coming into the NFL. All right. He is a legend in the state of Texas. I mean, a legend, true life, real life, walking, talking Paul Bunyan in the state of Texas when it comes to high school football, man. So you talking about somebody whose athleticism, okay, has led to him having the career he's had, which is why I can see some of these projections right here. I mean, we know he's not gonna play at the beginning of the year, right? So when Mike Clay got him down for 2,334 yards, 12 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 351 total rushing yards, getting sacked 3 times, or not 3 times, I'm sorry, 18 times. All right, because of the fact that he is not going to play as many games. All right, you got him down for 3 rushing touchdowns. He's ranked the 30th best quarterback in football. There's only 32. Remember the other night we covered NFC South, and somehow Baker Mayfield was supposed to be worse than this guy. Not seeing it, but anyway, and he's only good for 176 points, man. And if you look at the games that he's favored over 55%, which means the game they have to be projected to win a 56% or more percentile to win the game. That's how I pick it. Okay, that's how I let you know. And Mike Clay only says 2 games, but he has them projected to win five. So I got him going between 2 wins and 5 wins. This is horrible for Kyler Murray because he was the number one quarterback, and this is a team who drafted a number one quarterback in Rosen, and they Josh Rosen, they traded him. Like, you think they won't trade this guy, even if with the new contract and everything? You think they won't trade him? Somebody won't be a suitor for a Kyler Murray? I mean, what you think, Faye?
I feel like they got to have some type of faith in Kyler Murray.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
but I feel like Kyler Murray is kind of the reason why they haven't found a quality head coach because of so many stipulations in his contract that these dudes don't want to deal with. They feel like an NFL quarterback should come and want to work. They shouldn't have to force feed no quarterback. This the head of your, you know what I mean? So I feel like Kyler Murray might might be on the market soon. I feel like that's the best thing because you got too many different, like you being babysat.
Yeah, not just
Really
that. I
don't.
mean,
I
you fired the
don't
coach.
know who that coach
You
want
fired
to
the
deal
coach
with.
who drafted him. You fired the GM that drafted him. It might be time for a reset, better organization, better situation. Somebody who's going to put more pressure on
He's holding up the organization. This time, I feel like he's basically holding up the organization because the coaches don't want to deal with all the stipulations in his contract, the lack of passion for the game. You feel what I'm saying? I feel like he got talent. He's a talented player, but I don't feel like he's really grateful for the position that he has.
him. Yeah, I mean, he knows he could have got money in baseball, but he wouldn't have got to the money as fast as he did in the NFL. He would still be trying to get to that contract in baseball, still having to work for it. And, that might be a problem in this. This might be the first example of a baseball player that was not ready to invest himself in NFL and in football. But,
But
you know, I don't want to put that on the man. We're going to give him time to finish developing who he is, even though he's like 4 years into the league.
they're gonna put some weapons around him and see how he respond to that
Man,
before.
they already gave him weapons. The man got James Conner. He got Rondell Moore. He got Hollywood Brown. He had D Hop. He had Zach Ertz. He has Trey McBride. Weapons ain't the problem. The problem is the fact of him actually paying attention while he's watching a video so he can understand what the defense is finna do. Just keep it at 100, man.
So
So
we
we
number
get to
three.
let's get to number three, man. Number three on this list is going to surprise a few people, especially given the division, records, yada, yada, yada. But number three on this list, Brock Purdy. Yeah, I said it. Brock Purdy, man. Okay. And I put Brock Purdy right here at number three as quarterback in this division for multiple reasons. Okay. First and foremost, let's just say that we put Brock Purdy here because he's hurt. So we don't even know if Brock Purdy going to be the quarterback. We know they might play a little bit of Brock Purdy, a little bit of Trey Lance, and a little bit of Sam Darnold. Okay, this is a team who ran through four quarterbacks last year. Four quarterbacks last year. Lost a playoff game because they lost another quarterback. Almost put McCaffrey at quarterback last year in the playoff game. All right. What does that tell you? Now, yeah, Kyle Shanahan is honestly one of the greatest football minds to date right now. Okay, what he does with no quarterback, it doesn't even matter who the quarterback is when you're talking about a guy like this coaching him. All right, he's done it with Jimmy G, he's done it with Nick Mullins, he's done it with Bum de Bum, and he's done it with the Bum de Bum de Bum. I mean, the worst of the worst. Okay, so I believe he can do it with all three of these quarterbacks. Sam Darnold will be successful under him. He might be a playoff quarterback under him. All right, just saying. So when you look at what they did last year, right? So Brock Purdy, he played in like I want to say between 6 and 8 games, somewhere around there. Okay, I know that the 49ers went 13-4 last year. He threw for 1,374 yards, 13 touchdowns, and four interceptions. Man, that's 65.6% completion rate. All right, like you talking about somebody who comes out and does what he does. He ran for 13. He ain't run for much. All right, he ran for 13 yards all season. He got one rushing touchdown. All right, but his completion percentage is 67.1. His QBR is 65.6, and his passer rating is 107.3. He's surrounded by weapons. I mean, surrounded by weapons. This man has a litany of weapons. It's like it's a lexicon of who's the best players at certain positions in the NFL, whether you're naming Christian McCaffrey, okay, or whether you're naming Debo Samuels, yeah, the X Factor, or you talking about somebody like Kerry Kittles, or even Brandon Ayuk. Like this dude got weapons, man. Okay, now I wouldn't say they'd be weapons in every single offense, but with the coach that they got, the abilities that he has, when you have he had Kuschek. Kuschek is his fullback. He was working out with Kittle, all right, and a reporter approached him as they were working out. and they asked them about how they feel about Brock Purdy. And they said, or Kuchik said, the fullback, he's a football player. Now that's high praise. High praise from a fullback. High praise. So what you think, Face? Is this legit? Is this real? Should we be looking at all
Hey,
three
hey,
quarterbacks, one quarterback? What's going on?
nah, he real. He the real deal. I like those from the day they put him in. I see how he responded to the game.
Yeah, the game put in.
I
First
feel,
game put him in Tampa Bay. First
and
starting game against
I
Tom
feel,
Brady.
hey, so that's part of it too. You feel what I'm saying? By him shredding our defense the way he did, and it was a beautiful thing. I had to give him his props. You know what I mean? He don't turn the ball over. He's productive. It's like, what else can you ask for a quarterback, especially a first year quarterback? This is the one that usually turn the ball over to use it, and he ain't do it. So I feel like he's just gonna get better, especially with the weapons around him. It ain't no limit to it.
Ain't no limit for real, especially when you're a Cyclone, man. You know, when
He,
you're a
he
Cyclone
might
coming
be
out of
number three
Iowa
on his list.
State,
He might be on number three on his list, but next year he might move himself up. I'm pretty
might
sure he
move
will.
himself up number one. I mean,
He
hold
got
up
one of
now. He
the
got one of the best coaches in the game, and that's
he
why he
got the
might move
best
himself
defense
number
in
one.
the game. And he got
That's
the best
fact.
defense in the game. So that's extra. That's just extra. You get the ball back. More times you get the ball, more opportunity you got to score the ball.
Yes, sir.
So when you got
So
weapons like that, it's good to get the ball so you can spread it around and everybody happy.
everybody happy. That's why they got all the weapons. That's why they got all the
For real.
weapons because they can.
That's why
They
they get the
honestly have an
ball.
offense to where they can spread it around like that. Like
I think they
yeah,
got the number one defense in the NFL though.
you
You
know,
know,
Kyle.
so
Oh, hey, hold up. Before we end this, before we even go any further, okay. Salute to Kyle Shanahan's dad, okay, who is a Hall of Fame semifinalist this year, as well as salute to Roger Craig, way overdue Hall of Fame semifinalist. This man should have been in the Hall of Fame. Know why he ain't is not in yet, but I have to say that, okay. I have to acknowledge, especially Roger Craig. Roger Craig was one of the greatest running backs I ever saw. To me, all around, he does it all. He did it all. He was. I
he
looked
had
up to Roger Craig, man, when
he
it came
had
to
one of the
running that
best
ball.
fullbacks of all time.
Yeah, no, Tom Rathman. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Tom Rathman. But I digress. So let's get back into these numbers, right? So fantasy football PPR projections, as well as win loss projection. Okay, by Mike Clay from ESPN. These are the numbers. So we got your man going for 3,245 yards, 20 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. He gets sacked a total of 31 times, 126 rushing yards, something like that. Three touchdowns. He's ranked 23rd as the quarterback, 23rd best quarterback in the NFL. And he's good for 216 PPR points. Oh, they're good for a flat 10 win, bro. Like I'm not seeing anything more, anything less right now for the 49ers when I'm looking at the numbers. I'm looking at the win actual projection percentage, like how much they are projected or how much Mike Clay thinks that they are the projected winner for each game. Remember, I go off of 57%. So
I say this right here, right? If Brock Purdy starts the season, I can
they
see them winning 12 games.
they say
If
he might be back for week two.
uh,
They say he might be back for week two. He is on track. He's already traveled down here to Jacksonville to train with his quarterback coach guy his
that
guru
would
that he
be
was with before the draft.
that would be the difference for me for giving them 10 wins. If he starts the second game, I give them 11 to 12 wins. I feel like they got a team that's good, and I feel like if Brock Purdy plays, I believe they got the potential to win at least 12, 13 games.
Hey man, I can't do nothing but agree with you on that. I mean, that's just based off of what I've seen from Brock Purdy, what I've seen from the coach, what I know the coach can do.
And with the defense that he has, it's not that he got to go out there and do so much.
He don't have to
If
do
you got
everything.
one of the top ranked defenses in the league, all you have to do is go out there, don't turn the ball over. He's
Hey,
showing me that he knows how to protect the football. So that's
now
why I was
he did get a little lucky with some stuff last year. Okay, he did get a
saying,
little lucky with some stuff. We're not gonna say he's like the dart thrower of dart throwers. Okay, his arm is not as strong as you would want it to be, and then when you're coming back from a surgery, it might not be what we want. But at the same
it's,
time, some people come back
it's,
stronger
it's,
from
it's
surgeries.
the mentality for me. Some things, when you have the right mentality, you can overcome certain physical disadvantages.
Yes.
So I feel like it's his mentality, and that's why I like the kid. So if he keep
Hey,
that same mentality and he come back from that injury and don't let the injury play inside his head, I feel like he got greatness coming from that boy, man.
I think so too, brother. I think so too. So then let's move on to number two. So I know we had a shock and a surprise at number three. Okay. A lot of people didn't understand or did not see or foresee Brock Purdy being at number three, right? But it is what it is. So number two, Matthew Stafford, the Texan from the LA Rams. Yes, we talking about the true Texas boy, all right, who come from Detroit, who has been on teams way worse than this. Way worse than what he's got right now. He's been well on, but way worse coaching than he's got right now. So that's why a healthy Matthew Stafford, I feel, has to be the number two quarterback in the NFC West. All right. Last year he went, or they went 5-12 because he did get hurt last year. He threw for 2,087 yards, 10 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He got sacked 29 times. He rushed for a total of a whopping 9 yards, 1 touchdown. Completion percentage is 68%. His QBR was kind of dumpster juice at 50.3. All right. And his passer rating was 87.4, which is dumpster juice on top of basura. So we all know what that is. Straight trash. He's got a lot of weapons. He's got Cooper Cup, Akers coming out of his second year, coming back from that Achilles, ruptured Achilles, and then of course Tyler Higbee, but nothing else really. So
I have to interject for the cause of Matt Stafford, man. The man was playing with a bruised spinal cord, man.
yeah,
He trying to play
I
through the
know.
injury, man.
That's why I call him
That's
a Texan. That's why I say he a
why I
Texas
come
boy.
to you like that. He was actually trying to play through the injury for a while, but I don't know how I feel to have a bruised spinal cord, but I know playing quarterback
Okay.
in
I got
NFL.
I'm gonna tell you something. Full disclosure to the world. I have multiple uh sublations in my
Yeah,
back and on my neck. So what that is that it's a dislocation of the back and the neck at some points. All right. And that means it's pushed out of place or the joint is bad. Something's wrong. Okay. Your pad in between the bones is like there's nothing there. Stuff like that. Okay. Jameis Winston had that last year, and we saw what happened with Jameis. They finally diagnosed him, and Jameis might not never be the same quarterback. Matthew Stafford has something akin to that. These are injuries, spinal injuries, when you're twisting and turning and taking hits and all that stuff there. You really don't know till you start taking those twists and those turns, man, because it's your back. You could be moving and stepping, but each step is got to be calculated when you have spinal injuries or something wrong with your back and this and that, a third, or your neck or whatever. So it's really, really, really important that we all understand Matthew Stafford was hurt, like you said last year. I call him a Texan because Texas as a state has always been known as produce tough people. Okay, and I say that there's a lot of Navy SEALs. I say
even
that because there's a lot of Navy SEALs that's from Texas, dog.
even they
A lot of Army
even they
Rangers from
hamburger
Texas.
tough. Even the hamburger meat tough.
Facts, man, facts. Unless you go to Sawgrass, eat over at Sawgrass. Sawgrass had some good food when I went there over in Dallas Fort Worth. They look they can cook over in Texas, but get away from that for a second. 'Cause get me all the way off topic. All right, so let's go ahead and get to what we expect to see from Mr. Stafford. Mr. Stafford this year, 4,264 yards, 21 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. He's only going to get sacked 37 times. He's going to rush for 70 yards, one rushing touchdown. He's Mike Clay's 20th ranked quarterback. He's good for 237 PPR points. And somehow, some way, that only turns out to win between 1 and 4 games. Now, when you're looking at projections and you're looking at games they're favored in, between 1 and 4 games is what you're going to get. I honestly feel like Matthew Stafford is worth more than that. Sean McVay is worth more than that. Cooper Cup is worth more than that. This
You know,
this
basically,
is not a
you know,
Detroit Lions team, man.
basically what he's trying to say is the man is washed up.
That's what they try. No, he can't be
He,
washed up if you throw for
yeah,
4,000 yards. You got him throwing for more yards than the
yeah,
other two.
what, a year and a half, 2 years ago, he just threw over 6,000 yards.
Yeah, I know.
50 touchdowns. So you saying this man gonna drop from 6,000 yards all the way down to 2,000 yards? It's like you saying that he washed up. You saying he ain't gonna come back from this injury and be the same quarterback.
Remember,
That's
4,000
basically
yards is not a lot. It's not that. I mean, in the NFL today, it's not a lot of yards, but at the same time, it is a decent amount of yards. Okay,
if you gonna
they
start the season though. If you saying
he
17
gonna start the
games,
season.
well, how did
They got him
well
not playing some games. They got Stetson Bennett coming in for 3 games.
Matthew Stafford on too big to say this man gonna throw under 3,000 yards?
No, they got him
I
throwing
think.
for 4,000 some odd yards.
Oh, they
Okay,
said they got him going for 4,000.
yeah, it's four thousand
Okay.
two hundred and hold on 1 second. It's 4,264 yards. So 21 touchdowns, like 13 interceptions or something like that. So or it's they got him like playing and doing stuff. That's why I don't understand how they're not winning because I know or how you don't have them projected to win. I understand. They're coming in at a deficit at cornerback. They got rid of Jalen Ramsey. They're rebuilding and retooling on the defense. They still got to find out how good Cam Akers is going to be coming back from that Achilles injury. There's a lot of questions to be answered in LA. No, there's a lot. A lot going on. Okay, keep it 100. But at the end of the day, we are talking about Matthew Stafford and we are talking about Sean McVay. Got to put some respect on their name. Stop disrespecting them, dude. They're not going to win 5 games. It's not going to happen. Not 1 game, not 5 games. They'll at least win 7 or 8 games, but they're not going to win just 1 game, and they're not going to just win 5 games. I call that not happening.
I don't know who made these predictions or what
Mike
they base
Clay.
it. I'm saying for what he bases predictions off of. I think I feel like he lowballed him a little bit. He might not have a season like he had when he had 6,000 yards and down to the 49 or 50 touchdowns he had. But I feel like Matthew Stafford going to give you at least 30 touchdowns and close to 5,000 yards if he plays at least 14 to 16 games. If he plays, if he out 1 game or if he don't play the whole season, then yeah, I can see that. And that's probably what they're saying. He's not gonna play the whole season. basically,
I
basically
mean, they
saying
said
that.
that. Like I said, they said that what you would call it. Stetson Bennett gonna play like 2 or 3 games. Very,
Because I think they started like 4 quarterbacks last year.
because Matthew
They
Stafford got hurt. Matthew
That's what
Stafford
I'm
got
saying.
hurt, and he still threw for 2,087 yards, and he got hurt. He played less
Baker
games than
Mayfield,
Brock Purdy, and
Baker
still
Mayfield,
still out
Baker
threw.
Mayfield came over there and tried to save it at the end, but they had to went through like 4 quarterbacks, so they need an offensive line. I think that's what they need. I, I think they need. If you get all these different quarterbacks hurt, man, You need an offensive line. You don't have nobody blocking.
The
All
49ers
these,
got an offensive line.
huh?
49ers got an offensive line.
Yeah.
Yeah. 49ers got an offensive line. And they
Brock
stay with
Purdy.
hurt quarterbacks. Brock
That
Purdy,
Brock Purdy. That
Trey
Brock Purdy
Lance,
was a freak. That
Jimmy
was a
G.
freak.
There's three
That was a
quarterbacks in
freaking
one. Okay.
Jimmy
And
G is
then and
fragile.
then Josh Johnson. Josh Johnson. They
Hey,
injured four quarterbacks
hey,
last year.
tell me this here. Jimmy G is fragile. They need to put fragile on that package and get him out of town on third thing smoking. For real. Put fragile on that
Hey,
box. Get that
they
boy up
already
out of there.
did. They sent him over to the Raiders. You know, he's still fragile over there. He can't even pass a physical right now. So I mean
They don't want they don't want to buy them broke up ass ornament. You can't you want this high price
Yes,
ornament,
sir.
you know,
Yes,
think they
sir.
gonna have work halfway through the season. You can have it.
Hmm.
I,
All
I,
right, so hold up, man. Let's go ahead and get to number one. Enough on what's going on with them. We already know it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be an uphill battle. All right. But number one, we know who that is, man. The whole world knows who that is. He made the top five in the NFC. If you didn't watch that video, please see the link below. Go watch the video. You can't click on it, but save the link and understand. Go click on that video. Go look in the history. Subscribe. All right. I'm telling you, that video gives you the top five quarterbacks in the NFC. And Gino, he's on that list for some
he
people. Some
cracked
people
my
he's not.
top. You remember he cracked my top five. He
He
was
cracked
number
my top
five,
five too. He cracked my top
and
five too.
I took Brock Purdy as my dog for him.
Yeah. So Geno Smith, man. Last year they went 9-8. Okay, not great, but considering that they were projected to be a team that would win between 1 and 5 games, the same thing they're talking about with the Rams right now. All right, then that's a heck of a turnaround, man. He threw for 4,282 yards, 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. He got sacked 46 times, rushed for 366 total yards, 9 touchdowns. His completion percentage was 69.8. His QBR was 60.8, and his passer rating was 100.9, which is okay, not great, but not bad
Ball
neither.
out,
You know what I mean?
ball out.
Yeah, he balled out last year. Okay, he's and weapons like last year the weapons he had versus what he has now. Let's just look at it. Okay, a wide receiver right now. Okay, he has DK Metcalf, beast, 6'4", 235, runs every route, catch everything, great catch radius. Then he's got Tyler Lockett, dog, smaller wide receiver, great hands, great route runner, great understanding of the game. Then he's got new rookie Jackson Smith and Jigba out of OHIO. Yeah, the Ohio State. All right. This dude's supposed to be the best route technician in a while. I've watched a lot of his tape. I honestly feel he is. To be the third wideout, like that's a lot of firepower on that offense. And then when you put the running backs, okay, not only do they have Kenneth Walker the third, but they just drafted Zach Charbonnet out of UCLA. All right, another dog. Okay, so he got dogs everywhere. Then you look right, then go look in the kennel real quick and look at the tight ends. If you check the kennel, all right, then you sitting over there, you're looking at Noah Fant, and you're looking at Will Disley. Okay, these are good tight ends. Boy, the cupboard is not bare in Seattle right now. There's no reason for not have success. Say you face.
Hey, I feel like he's the number one quarterback just based on the fact he played every game last season. You can't say too many quarterbacks could brag them same rights. Just be available for your team every game. Play these dudes. No, it's rough. NFL, you got 300-pound linemen falling on you. I mean,
Yeah,
and just to do this at this level and not get injured, hey, that's a testament to his program, as far as his preparation and being a smart. I feel like I pray that he actually has evolved into this quarterback because he deserved. He had a rough start. He had ups and downs. I feel like that might have helped him develop into the player that he is. Because playing at a level where I just want to see him continue to play that way.
Well, see, a lot of people don't understand that Geno Smith has been a quarterback who's bounced around the league. He's been a backup for a long time. He came in the league as a starter. Remember, he got his jaw broke. You know, all that type of stuff happened to him. So to see him turn around his career around is a beautiful thing. All right, especially when he gets the kind of respect we're finna talk about right here. Okay, because Mike Clay got him projected for 3,860 yards, 27 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, gets sacked 43 times, 276 rushing yards, one rushing touchdown, and he's the 13th ranked quarterback in fantasy PPR right now. All right, good for 270 points. Now, they got him winning only between 7 and 9 wins, but we are talking about a team that is coached by one of the greatest coaches out there right now, Pete Carroll. Like I know he's had a few years that were hit or miss, and I know he had the bad play call in the Super Bowl. But you got to respect his gangster. You got to understand Pete Carroll is a great coach. He's a great people person, and a great motivator. And that's the biggest part about being a coach in the NFL is being able to connect with the players and being able to motivate the players. If you can marry those two things, you got W's, baby.
And sometimes the greatest motivation is knowing that you had a trust of that player. You know what I mean? Or the coach, should I say it? Because at school, I used to be bad as hell in school.
Hmm.
But guess what? If they gave me a responsibility to do, I wasn't never
You
bad
never
at it.
shirked that.
I was,
You always
I,
did
I, I
it.
was so focused on the task and being that they feel
They
like they put me
trusted
in
you.
such a role, I ain't
Yeah.
want to. So I feel like he just got with the right coach at the right time, and you know, I hope that it continues his success.
Yeah. I can't do nothing but agree with you on that, man. All right, y'all. So this was your episode of Game Day with Trey. I believe that we gave you enough information for you to just look at the whole series. Okay. If you look at the series that we just got done completing, because this is the final video in the series of fantasy projections for quarterback rankings throughout conferences and divisions. All right. So we've given you everything right now, at least for the quarterbacks. But we do have a lot more coming, man. We got to cover these weapons. We got to cover these weapons, man. And
There's a lot going on. There's a
there's
lot
a
going
lot
on.
going on right now, you
Sports in the
know.
world of sports.
So I want everybody to stay tuned. Everybody, I hope y'all enjoyed the episode. We will be back to you soon. All right. Y'all have a blessed day. Stay safe. I'm going to holler at y'all, man. Peace.